Attorney Aaron Stewart from Rubenstein Law, and this is Rubenstein Rules.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. You can unmute yourself if you want, or you can use the chat box. We're going to get started in about a minute. Okay, we are going to get started. Hope everyone is doing great. Thank you for joining me today on this training call. We will be going over time management and business planning. If you have this class before, welcome again. I do recommend that you take this class a couple times as well as some of the others. You get a little more each time you do. If you notice the chat box, you can use that to ask questions, or you can unmute yourself. Everyone is muted at this time. But I also put my email address there. And I did that for this reason. If you would like to receive the handout, which you should all want to, for this class, shoot me an email, and then right after the class, I will go ahead and send everyone out the handouts, so you will have a copy of them, okay? All right, and I am going to be walking you through putting together a business plan for real estate. So if you've ever wondered, how to organize all these things you're learning, or use all the tools and put them into a daily schedule, that's what we're going to talk about today. But before I get into that, let me go ahead and talk to you a little bit about some of the tools that we have surrounding business planning already. And today we're going to be going over kind of the manual way of putting together a business plan, but we do have some sophisticated tools on your 21 online. And when you log into our intranet system, that's the 21 online, there is the agent planning section, and there is a great tool there to put together your plan, and it will spit out a big report for you and give you daily actions, and all the things that we're going to talk about today are incorporated in there, but it's in more of Excel program, so it really auto-populates a lot of information for you, okay? So it's a great tool. I encourage everyone to utilize that. But today we're going to dive in and talk about, what is a business plan, and why you should have one, and what it's going to do for you. All right, so with that being said, I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And again, you can ask questions as we go through this, but let me move this to the side. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. All right, cool. So, creating a business plan, and what are we talking about when we talk about a business plan? And, obviously we're going to talk about your goals within that, but a business plan is really your roadmap, and it should really be, leading the way towards your goals. So a good business plan, is where you've done all the thinking ahead of time, and you've figured out, okay, what do I need to do to reach certain goals? And then you're basically just executing them on a daily basis. So, again, a business plan is your daily roadmap. So keep that in mind. Let's talk a little bit about the fundamentals of a real estate career. And I always like to show this slide here, or this sheet, which again, you'll be getting this if you email me at the end of the training session. I'll be happy to send you the handouts, okay? So, launching your real estate career, if you look at these arrows, these are typically what stages of someone's success in real estate looks like. So for the first 90 days, that arrow is moving horizontal. you may say, well, I'm not making any money there. Well, no, you can make money, but you are, learning things. You're learning habits. You're developing yourself. As the arrow starts moving up, what you're doing is you're building your client base. And your client base is really, buyers and sellers who know you as their real estate professional of choice and who are going to do business with you. So that's going to continue to grow, as you start. Those start with family, friends, relatives. My client base consisted of a 3x5 filing system, 3x5 card filing system back in the early 80s when I started. So today, we have sophisticated CRMs that we provide you with for free. And again, it's just whatever you use to organize your clients, but you want to maintain contact on a professional level with buyers and sellers. So when they have a need for real estate, they're going to use you. A question came in, what is the email to receive the sheets? If you scroll right up and you see my welcome everyone, there you go, Al Cariotti at century21.com. Just send it right there and be happy to respond back with it, okay? All right, so notice here, the arrow is moving horizontal again, and it says serve your client base. Now, this does happen in someone's career where their business levels out, and and it's not that someone just stopped doing business. It just means that they're not growing their business anymore, and that can happen 5 years, 6 years, 7 years in the business of a successful agent. And the reasons are that one, they've just have enough business that they can handle. They just can't do any more themselves. Meaning they're serving a client base that is, giving them a certain amount of business every year, and they just can't, they can't handle anymore. So the options that open up, for you at that point is that, to grow your business, you may need to take on some people. And what I mean by that is maybe hire an assistant or form a team or have a partner, which will, free up some of the tedious paperwork and, give you the ability to grow your business even further. So those are options. And if you look around your offices, each office, may have teams or partners that do just that. So, that's something that you definitely want to consider, maybe plan for. And again, we're talking about business planning. So that might be something that, you want to actually plan in your plan. Okay. So some of the best practices that I have here, number one, practice your skills until you feel confident about them. And I think that's always important. The way we've designed our training, even that we're virtual right now, the trainings modules are still the same. You're going to learn something, one day, you're going to learn another topic another day. I would practice that stuff, like even today, start to put together a business plan. You may tweak it, as you learn new things, but, put it out there. Number two, after each customer interaction, think about how you can improve. And I think that's very important. You always want to be improving. You always want to be tweaking your presentations, especially your buyer's presentation and your seller's presentation. This is your value proposition. You should always be tweaking that, making it the best that you can possibly make it. And, we're going to provide you, if you haven't noticed already, with amazing tools and systems. You have the value proposition. You just need to know how to articulate it. You need to understand it so you can practice it and you can use it. But as you do, you're going to get better with it. And that's what you want to do, continually practice. All right. Number three, another best practice is write down your goals and keep them in mind. I will tell you, I am a strong, proponent of goal setting. And whether it be personal or business, I firmly believe that if you have certain components within that goal, you're going to reach them. And I'm going to go over that today with you in this training. All right. Number four, develop self-discipline. And, that right there is the key to a successful real estate career. And I've seen a lot of careers made and not made in, my 30 plus years, almost 40 years in the business. So I can tell you that the self-discipline I'm talking about is your ability to wake up in the morning and say, hey, this is what I need to do to move my business forward today. And it's taking certain steps, doing certain activities. So we'll talk about those type of activities, but that right there, that self-discipline is, that entrepreneurial spirit. And that's really where, you know, um, you may have come from a entrepreneurial background where it comes to you very easy, but some folks that maybe have come from a job that they punch a clock and we're told what to do each day. It could be difficult. Doesn't mean that you can't learn that, but these are the things that we're going to talk about. You're your own boss in this business, and the activities that you do are going to make the difference between your success and failure. So I always like to use this as, just a segue to tell you, what my role is. And if you don't know who I am, I'm the broker. I'm the owner of the company. I'm teaching you a few of the classes here, but, if you don't know what my role is in the company, let me tell you, what I feel my role as your broker is to provide you with the best tools, systems, training, and support that you need so you can be successful. And I really feel that we strive, and I say we as the management team, myself included, to really sort out the best tools and systems for you, and training and support. But all that means nothing if you don't take those tools and use them. So, what we look for are agents that are going to take that and take the business and take the tools and get out there and utilize it. If you do that, I can guarantee your success, but it's really up to you. And that's where that self-discipline comes into play. Okay. I know I spent a lot of time on that one, but it's important. All right. And then number 5, work actively to build your business. And that is exactly that, doing the things that are going to move your business forward. I mean, there's things, that you can do each day that it really doesn't make a difference whether you do them or not. But there's certain things that you can do that are going to build your business. And again, we'll talk about that. Now, the question at the bottom here says, what percentage of your working day do you think should be spent actively building your business? The answer to that question is 50, and that represents 50%. So 50% of your time, think about this, that's all you need to spend. 50% of the time you have available to work in real estate should be spent on activities that are going to build your business. Now, don't worry, I'm going to tell you specifically what that is. I'm going to get very detailed with this, and we're going to talk about your time, because that's your most valuable commodity you have, right? That's the most important asset that you have, is your time. So you want to use it correctly. But 50%, that's the number you should have there, okay? All right, let's get into this where, and I apologize for the second generation copy, not sure what happened there, but allocating time to build your business. Hey guys, this is the first step that you would take in putting together a business plan. And I say that because what this does for you is it actually helps you figure out how much time you have available to work in real estate. And what it does is it actually takes out your personal time. So, I recommend you, if you have a scratch piece of paper right now, do this, just do it. I'm not going to call anyone out. Don't worry. And there's no right or wrong answers with this. It's just what you have to work with. And I've worked with agents who've had 4 hours a week. Believe it or not, 4 hours a week. That's it. That's all they had to work with. And believe it or not, they were more successful than some full-time agents at other companies, meaning they made more money. Why? Because the 4 hours they had, they used very efficiently. Okay. But I'm sure you have a little more than that, possibly. But what I'm saying is that you can use whatever you have. If you look at this, what you're doing is you're taking a 24-hour a day and you're going to add up your personal time. For instance, hours sleeping, go ahead and jot that number down. Some people are good with 5 hours sleep. Some people need 10 hours sleep, whatever it is. Hours with family and friends. Okay. If you spend a certain amount of time with family and friends, which is always a good thing. Hours eating, that's also a good thing too. You need to eat, right? Hours driving if you commute, right? And then add another line if you have another commitment. Some of you may have a part-time obligation, a part-time job. Maybe you're segueing into real estate to be full-time for you. Hey, that's fine. That's an obligation though that you have. You need to add that in as your personal time. And then when you total all those up, that's your total hours committed to personal time, right? Then what you're going to do is subtract that number by 24. So 24 hours in the day. That will show you then the hours you have available to work in real estate. And then what you want to do is divide that number by 2, and that's going to give you the 50%. And the 50% is, again, the time you need to be spent or to spend building your business. Okay. And I'll go over those specific items in just a bit, but that's what we're talking about here. I mean, it's very simple, but again, this is the first step. Why is it so important? Because, it's a lot of people like to just rush into a business plan, just start doing things. Well, you can't do things if you don't know how much time you have available to spend doing it. So again, this is a very important and crucial step in putting together any kind of plan of your business. How much time do you have available? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead to the next page here. And here are the specific activities. Well, not specific, but here are the definitions of 3 different types of activities that you will come across within your real estate career. So every day, we have these 3 types of activities. And the first one is what we call income producing activities. And by the way, this is the 50% I was talking to you about. So income producing activities are very important because these are the money-making activities. These type of activities usually put you in front of a buyer or seller and put you in the best position to possibly make some money. I'll give you some examples. Hosting an open house, right? You have a house that's for sale. You're there, whether it's your listing or not, you're hosting it. And who can walk in? Could be a buyer, could be a seller. Could be someone that wants to buy that property or a property in the area. That could be money in your pocket. Or it could be a seller that's in the neighborhood thinking about selling their house and they want to connect with an agent, and they're going to look at your professionalism, see how well you're doing on this open house, maybe, talk to you about listing their home. So open houses is just one of many income producing activities. I'll give you another one too. Going on a listing presentation, talking to a seller who wants to sell their home. You're in a position to get a listing. It's money in the bank. Okay. So those are income producing activities, and there's many of them, and I'll give you a bunch others in a bit, but take a look at B activities, and that's what we call support activities. Now, support activities prepare you for income producing activities, and I would say almost all income producing activity. Okay, let me go ahead in here and just check and see because everyone's muted. All right, here we go. So support activities prepare you for income producing activities. And as I was saying, almost all income producing activities are going to require some sort of support or preparation. For instance, doing that successful open house, there's preparation in that, and that's going to take time. So you have to plan for time to prepare, right? To get ready for some of these income producing activities. And that's going to be your support activities. If you take a look at the C activities, the last one I had there, and that is what we call professional development activities. So meetings, training events, what we're doing right now. This is a professional development activity. Reading books, going to seminars, right? Anything to expand your knowledge. and skills. I mean, these are professional development activities. Now, you need to have that. You need to have a balance, though, of these professional development and support activities. But you want to make sure that they're not consuming all your time, meaning that they take so much of your time that you don't have enough time to do the income producing activities. So guard your time, and that's why you have to have a plan. But 50% of your activities should be allocated to income producing, and then the other can be support and professional development. Okay. All right, let's take a look now at sample activity. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you'll get this, again, by emailing me. I'm going to send you this little handout here. But you have a list of all these different types of income producing activities, as well as support activities and professional development activities. I want to take a quick look at these income producing activities. Now, these are not all of them. Matter of fact, these are the income producing activities I learned 35 years ago. I think it's 35 years ago, 82, 83, whatever that is. When I started in real estate, this is what I was taught. And believe it or not, these activities are still viable today. I'll go over them with you because I'm going to use these in the business plan. By the way, I don't know if I told you, but at the end of this, I'm going to share with you a business plan, and you can use it and you'll earn a lot of money if you do it. But, I'm going to use these activities just as an example. But of course, today, there's so many things you'll learn through training, many different types of prospecting activities that you can utilize. And the nice thing about real estate is you don't have to do them all. Pick and choose the ones you like, that you feel comfortable with, that fit your personality, and do them consistently. So door knocking, what is that? Knocking on someone's door. You may or may not like that. But I'll tell you, agents that do it have success. If you feel comfortable with it, door knocking today can be, inviting someone to an open house you're going to be having or hosting, on the next, couple of days, or knocking on the door and handing them a just sold card of a property you just sold, or we just sold as a company up the street, offering them a free market analysis of their property. Maybe they're interested in selling. It doesn't have to be hard. We have a lot of valuable information. Offering a free home warranty. Did you guys know we have free marketing material available to you? Door hangers from American Home Shield, offering free home warranties if you want that. Phone canvassing is, different than door knocking, whereas you're not knocking on the door, but you're calling them on the phone. So you can relay the same type of information, just with a different, just a different way. I can tell you that door knocking, the conversion ratio is higher. Getting in front of somebody is usually more effective than calling them on the phone. For sale by owners, expired listings, we have training on this stuff, but for sale by owners or what? Those are individual homeowners that are trying to sell their own property, usually to save on a commission. And, those are good sources of listings. Also expired listings, owners that have had a property for sale and it expired with their current listing agent, and they may still be interested in selling. So those are fair game. Sphere of influence, that's your family, friends, relatives, people that, know you. Maybe you belong to a club, or you have a hobby and you know a certain group of people. Let them know you're in real estate. And, usually your first deal may come from your sphere of influence. I can guarantee each of you that you know somebody right now that has a need for real estate, whether it's buying, selling, leasing. And if not, I can guarantee you they know somebody who does. So you always want to ask, do you have a need for, or you're looking to buy something or sell something? If not, do you know anyone who is? And they may have a referral for you. Activity calls, those are people you're already dealing with that you're asking for a referral business. So maybe you have a listing on a property and you ask the seller, do you know of anyone else who may benefit from my services that I can call? And then target marketing is what we also call niche marketing. farming, right? It could be demographic or geographic. It's specializing in either an area or a particular group of individuals. It's really a good way to separate yourself from the competition. There's many niches out there. So niche marketing, target marketing is certainly a great way to do that. All right. And again, these are just a few of the many, many prospecting methods that are out there. But I wanted to just go over those in a high level right now because I will be using those in the business plan that I go over with you in just a bit. All right. But before we do that, let's take a look. Look at this thing here. You know what this is? All right. This is what we call a daily planner. Okay. So I'm not sure what you are using right now, each of you. I think we got about 100 people on this call. No, I'm kidding. How many do we have on this call? Let's see. 17. Okay. So I'm not sure what everyone is using. If you want to volunteer what you're using in the chat box to organize your day, go ahead and do that. If you're not using anything, then don't put nothing. I'll just assume that you're not using anything. Okay, cool. I see Gmail calendar. Excellent. If you're just using a simple to-do list, it's better than nothing. But I want to talk to you today about the importance of keeping a daily calendar. It's crucial. It's crucial, especially if you're running any kind of a business, and real estate is a business. Having a daily calendar is going to relieve stress. It's going to make you more efficient. There's many things that it's going to do for you, but it's extremely important that you don't try to remember everything that you need to do during the day. There should be a planning process, and then executing what you have planned for the day. You don't want to just wing it. And that's the whole idea behind having a daily planner. So you want to become proactive rather than being reactive. And so what I mean by that is, you don't want to be a firefighter. So what does a firefighter do? A firefighter is someone who, basically waits around for a fire. And then they spring into action. You can't run a business that way. You have to make the fires. So you're the one that has to really make things happen. Can you be busy without having a schedule? Absolutely. I can be very busy myself. By the way, I start my day at 3 a.m. in the morning. I know it's crazy, but I am up at 3 a.m. every morning, and that's when I start my day. And it's a planning process, and I actually write down everything that I want to accomplish during the day. I have these type of plans that I'm talking about. I'll share with you what I use when I'm done talking about this little section over here, if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. You want to be proactive and then execute on it, and that's the way you're going to become, very, very diligent. So I'll share with you what I use. And by the way, I have been on the search. I always am. I'm always tweaking it for the best time management system out there. And ever since I started in real estate, and I started, quite young. It wasn't my first job, but I can tell you that, it's been my life pretty much. And I've always been looking at the best ways to organize my day. And I've, before internet, I was doing real estate, and, I used all types of, the Franklin Covey, the day runners, all that stuff. Then as internet came, I used all the software and apps and things like that. So today, what my time management planning system consists of is it's really something that I've come up with from two of the time management gurus. One of them being Anthony Robbins. He's still around today. But he taught a class. I don't think he teaches it anymore. It's called RPM. And he had these seminars. Rapid Planning Method is what it's called. And you could probably find books or tapes on that still today. The guru of today is David Allen. if you're interested. And he's written many books. His first book was called Getting Things Done, and excellent book on time management. And the two are very similar, Anthony Robbins and David Allen. But basically, it's this. Your mind and your brain is really not made to hold a lot of information, and it shouldn't. So as you come up with things you need to do, ideas, get them out of your head, jot them down. So that's the first thing, is to capture items that you want to do, or that you need to do, and then you can prioritize them, and basically you just do them. But again, your brain shouldn't be holding all that information. I don't know about you, I can't remember things like I used to. So it's very important for me to get them out of my head. And what that does for you is that keeps your mind clear, because you don't have to think about those things anymore. You have them down, you're just going to execute them, but it keeps your head clear to be more creative, to come up with other ideas. So it's a very effective method when you capture and then you put out, and then, there's a lot more to it. I mean, obviously you're going to organize and put things together to organize your day, but I'm going to show you how to do it. One of the things I'm going to show you is putting together a calendar from the plan that we use. But if you're not using anything right now, or if you want to use something a little more sophisticated, I mean, this sheet that I'm going to give you in your handout, which is on the screen right now, is pretty cool because it has, it's for a day. You can make copies of this, and it has the 3 different activities. So what you would do is you would just list, the income producing activities, list the support activities, and the professional development activities. And then you just allocate them within the time you have available. That's the nice thing about real estate. You get to choose when you do things. When do you take lunch? When are you going to go ahead and prospect? When are you going to do this? No one's telling you what to do. A lot of people get into this business because of the freedom they have, but that can be either, a good thing or a bad thing. So you want to really be able to control it. But, having the ability to put together your own schedule is a great thing. You just want to make sure that you do it correctly. So as I told you, I mean, I don't start my day before I know exactly what I want to accomplish. But I can tell you this, which I know for a fact. You can have the best schedule written, everything organized right down to the minute. And then there's going to be something that happens to all of us. What is it? Life happens, right? And it messes up that schedule, messes up that perfect plan, right? And what I mean by that is things are going to come up that weren't planned. The spouse calls with a flat tire, or the kids got to be picked up from somewhere, or something, whatever. Look, we all live life, and there are going to be things that are going to be a lot more important than prospecting for now, right? So those are going to be things that pop up that are going to take priority, and that's fine. That is life, and embrace it. But here's what you want to know, and here's where the professional comes in. As things happen, great. Take care of them. Go take care of the flat tire. Go pick up the kids. Do all that. But you know what? You still have some obligations that you need to attend to. You said you were going to do. Go ahead and move those to another time and execute them. And that's it. And that's the way you manage your schedule. So a plan is not rigid. It's flexible, right? I mean, it's basically your roadmap, but sometimes you got to take a little detour, but you know what you got to do to get it done. And if you do that, you're gonna really excel and exceed your goals. And I'll show that to you as we do this. But I do like this sheet. If you use this, if you want to use this, again, this is a good one you'll get. All right, I want to share with you before we actually get into putting together a goal, this acronym here. Now, I filled in the answers here, but usually like in a classroom setting, I would say SMART goal setting, and I just put up SMART, and you guys would guess what the letters represent. So the letters in this acronym SMART goal setting represent the components of a SMART goal. And these components, it's said that if you have these components within your goal, chances of reaching that goal are great. So I'll just go over them with you. So yeah, the S stands for specific. And what that means in goal setting is when you write a goal, you want it to be specific. You don't want it to be vague. A specific goal may be, well, I'll tell you a non-specific goal. So I hear a lot of goals. One I might hear often is, hey, I want to, my goal is to get a new car. Okay, well, it's a good goal, but it's not a specific goal. What would make it specific is, if you told me, what type of car, how specific do you want to get? I mean, tell me, the make, the model, the color, the accessories, I mean, whatever. Get it so where it's very, specific, like you can visualize it, right? That's being specific. All right, and then M would be measurable. And measurable is really having it written down so you can track it as it unfolds. Okay. A, attainable. So you want to make sure that your goal is doable. You don't want it to be too far-fetched. And R is similar, realistic. And sometimes if you do have a huge goal, you got to maybe break it up into small parts. That old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, that's it. Same thing. All right. And then T, time. And that is when. When are you going to achieve that goal? When are you going to have that new car? So, smart goal setting, I can tell you that all of these components are found in the 3-step process that I'm going to go over with you. So we'll go over that in just a bit. But before I do, let me just tell you a little bit about the goal, because I am going to put together, or we're going to go ahead together and do a kind of a mock-up goal, and it's going to be for a fictitious person. It's no one here, but I can tell you this: if you did follow this goal, you would probably exceed the actual goal. All right, because it is what it is. But I don't want you to get hung up on the numbers that I use for the goal. And I've pre-written all this out. And by the way, this is going to be the same type of template on 21 Online that I told you about. You can just put in your numbers and it will spit out for you a nice sheet. But the person that we're going to, or the goal that we're going to talk about today is someone that wants to earn $150,000 within the 12-month period. Now, again, that may or may not be your goal. Okay. You may say, no, I want to make more than that. Or you may say, well, no, I don't want to make that much. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Don't get hung up on the numbers. But again, I'm going to show you how to do that. And also, this individual is only going to work 50 weeks, going to take a 2-week vacation. And we're going to say that they're on a 60% split with their company. And all of you as you progress are going to be doing better than that. But we're just going to use those numbers. And that's the way I have this thing set up. So let's see what it takes to make $150,000 net, by the way. That's in, the agent's pocket. All right, so this is in a series of 3 steps. And by the way, I'm going to explain all these to you. I do have the numbers written in here. So I did these calculations already. When you use the online version, it's going to calculate it for you anyway. All right, but in the first part of the here, just so you understand where these numbers came from, the income goal we said was $150,000. Okay, and that would be how much someone wants to make. Now, the average sales price is really going to depend on the average price home that you're selling. It may be more or less than this. I use an average of $220,000. I think for our company, it's about $350,000. But this was one particular office that I used. So $220,000 average sales price. And then the average office commission rate per side is the co-op commission. So where is that? There's found, if you look at the MLS, understand there's always a co-op fee that's offered, and it's offered for the selling side. So where it says commission rate per side, let me just explain that word side to you, because side is synonymous with unit, sale, transaction. It goes by many words. Basically, it means a sale, and there's two sides to every transaction. You have the selling side and you have the buying side. So the listing side and the selling side. And if you sold your own listing, you're going to get two sides. Okay. So usually half of that is 3% on an average. Okay. That's why 3% is there. All right. So let's take a look now at D, average office commission rate per side. Well, that's going to be the gross commission in the office. And we get that by multiplying B times C, which would be $6,600 in this case. All right. Then this number here for E represents taking out any kind of national advertising funds or franchise fees. Ours is 6%. So if we minus that out, you're going to be left with $6,204 in this case. We are figuring out the average commission rate for the agent is 60%. So G shows us how much the agent is going to make per side, or per sale, or per transaction, again, whatever you want to call it. So that would be $3,722 based on these numbers. So that's good information, because now we can start figuring out some activities, or not activities, but how many of these deals, how many of these sides this agent needs to make to reach the goal. And that's what H is all about, number of closed sides needed. So we said the goal was 150,000. That's how much they're making per side. If we divide that, that's going to give us 41. And by the way, what I recommend you do is always round up. Now that may have come to 40.1. I rounded it up to 41, even though it wasn't, justifiable to 41. Worst thing is you're going to exceed your goals, and that's fine. So that would represent, again, the closed sides needed. But what you want to do is be realistic within your business plan. And we've worked in some buffers, and we've worked them in with, the help of some National Association of Realtor conversion ratios, or, different things. For instance, this number of sales under contracts represents a fallout ratio. And the fallout ratio basically says this, and this is an NAR stat, National Association of Realtors statistic, and there's many statistics. And by the way, just let me preface this. Our company beats out every NAR stat there is, all right? Anyone, list to sale ratio, whatever. We also beat out our local every time. It's just the way it is. Any large company is going to do that, because they take in the mix all these other companies, and their ratios are different. But I like using their ratios because it's going to give you a bigger buffer. So anyway, getting back to this, this I says number of sales under contract needed. So what that means is that, while you're going to need 41 to close, you're going to need a higher amount under contract, because the NAR says that 20% of your sales are not going to close. Now, why would they say that? Well, again, NAR stat, could be that, the buyer, went and bought a car and they changed their debt to income ratio, didn't qualify for the loan anymore. Or, the house had inspections and there was termites and no one wanted to do anything about it. There's many reasons why a deal can fall apart. Ours is not, as a company wide, it's a lot less than 20%, but I like to use those numbers. And if we used it, we would take that 41 divided by 80%, and it would give us 51. So that means that this agent needs to shoot for it. They need to plan for 51 sales in order to make sure at least 41 of them close. All right, I like that. Okay, that's step one. Let's go to step two, where we're going to calculate the people prospects per week. And this is broken out into working with sellers and buyers. So whenever we talk about working with listings, that's a seller. And before I get into this section, I just want to tell you, what a question that I'm often asked. Sometimes people ask me, what should I do? Should I work with buyers more than sellers, or should I work with sellers more, or should I just be a buyer's agent? And so I'll give you my take on it. And I'll tell you what I was taught when I started in the business. Things were drilled into me about listings. Things like you have to list to last, or things like listings are the name of the game. Or I've heard things like listings are money in the bank. Okay, all of those things are true. And what the emphasis is on listings, because it's the listing agents that make the most money, bottom line, in any company. And why? Because, when you have listings, you control the inventory. Look at some of our top listing agents. These are the agents who can travel outside of the country and still do the same amount of business, close the same amount of deals that they would have if they were here. Why? Because they have listings. Other people are selling them, and they're going to get paid. Become a good listing agent. But for this ratio, I would tell you, when you're planning your business, a 60-40 ratio. 60-40 is the best ratio in any market. So 60% of your efforts should be with working with sellers, trying to obtain listings. 40% of your business plan should be working with buyers. And that works in any market. Buyers market, sellers market, high interest rates, low interest rates, it doesn't matter. So that's what we're going to look at here. So when we're looking at J, line J, it says listing size under contract. Well, 60% of your business is going to come from selling listings. So from your listing. So 60% of 51 is 31. Okay. And then on line K, it asks for listings that must be taken. Here again is another stat. This is going to reflect listings that don't sell. So again, the NAR stat says that 30% of your listings aren't going to sell. Again, our company is not, it's not indicative of our company results, but we use it. So if we use that number, we would take 31 divided by 70 and get 44. So that's a higher number, but what that would mean is the listing agent would want to get 44 listings to ensure that they're going to sell at least 31 of them. Okay. Now, how do you get 44 listings? How do you get a listing, for that matter? You get a listing by going on listing presentations, or what we call marketing presentations here. It's all the same thing. And basically, that's you meeting with a seller who wants to sell their property, and telling them of our value proposition, why they should hire you as their agent and not XYZ Realty or any other company out there, for that matter. I will tell you this, we have probably one of the best seller proposition. We have excellent buyer and seller, but one of the best seller propositions, better than any other company out there. We have things other companies don't have. Bottom line, why don't we get all the listings? We should monopolize all the listings. There shouldn't be any other company with listings out there, guys. Why? Why is it? I'll tell you why. It's the agent's ability to articulate what they have. See, you have things you don't even know. Did you know that you're the only company that has a global MLS? We have exposure to a seller's property that no one else can give it. There's a lot of companies who call themselves international, and they do. They have international offices. Nobody has over 9,000 offices in over 80 countries. That alone right there sets you apart from anyone. And then talk about, the over 750 websites that we syndicate to. Talk about, the different programs we have. I'm not going to go over them all with you, but, go through the listing class, take a look at our intranet. I mean, this is the stuff that we provide to you. But you have incredible opportunity to really take any listing you want. So anyway, I want to get off track over here, but marketing presentation. So we'll use their ratio. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. The NAR says for every 3 marketing presentations or every 3 listing presentations you get, you're going to get 1 listing. If that were the case, 3 times 44 is 132. Okay. So we use that. All right. Number of weeks worked per year. We said this agent's going to work 50 weeks. And if we break that down into a weekly, we round that up to 3 listing presentations per week needed for this agent to get the listings they need. Okay, just 3 listing presentations, not 3 listings, just presentations. We've already worked in the ratio, see? All right, let's go down to buyers. So we got the number from line I, it was 21. That was going to be 40% of the
¿Qué pasa con mi computadora? Ay, no.
Okay, if you unmuted your mic, please mute your mic. Okay. All right. So 21 buyers sides under contract. Buyers needed. Well, the ratio is 3 to 1 here again. For what NAR says is for every 3 buyers you work with, 1's going to go to contract. If that were the case, 3 times 21 would be 63. Number of weeks worked per year is 50. And if you divide that, that means this agent needs to work with 2 buyers per week in order to reach their goal. Now look, if we just look at these numbers real quick, 3 and 2, that's it. So in order for an agent to make $150,000, and by the way, I can guarantee that, okay? In order for an agent to make $150,000 in their pocket in 12 months, they need to go on 3 listing presentations and work with 2 buyers per week. Doesn't sound like a lot to me, but I mean, there is a lot to it. I mean, obviously. All right. So, but just kind of in a high level, that's really basically what it is. So now the question on step 3, the final step is, how do you find these sellers? How do you find the buyers? How do you get in front of these buyers and sellers? So the good news is there's more than I have listed here ways. You have so many ways to do that, but we're going to use the ways that I talked to you earlier, those old methods that are still viable today, that you can use. And I have all their conversion ratios here. These conversion ratios says contacts to produce a presentation. That's an NAR stat, so you know how conservative they are. But if we look at all the sources here, these are all the different prospecting sources. So what I did is I took that 132 and I allocated evenly 22 on each of these so we can add up to 132. Now you don't have to do it this way. When you're doing your business plan, maybe you won't like to call people on the phone. Maybe you'd rather be in person. So maybe you'll have 0 here, but you have to add that amount to make sure it equals up to 132 somewhere else. Okay. All right, but let's work the numbers across so you get an idea. So if we were going to do this, if we were going to get 22 presentations from canvassing by phone, so the contacts to get a presentation are 100 to 1. So 22 times 100 would equal 2,200 annual contacts needed. We're going to divide that by the 50 weeks work per year, and that would equal 44 contacts per week. See, what we're doing is we're breaking this down into a weekly process here, so we can put this into a schedule. All right, and then we go to canvassing in person, same sort of thing. 22 times 50 equals 1,100, divided by 50 equals 22. For sale by owners, 22 times 5 equals 110, divided by 50 equals 3. And we did that for each of these, expired, target marketing, and you'll notice the different conversion ratios until we get the weekly contacts needed per week. All right. All right. I think I have a question here. Let me just see real quick. I don't want to leave any question open. So, so I appreciate that, Taylor. Thanks. You reposted my email address. Yep. Sounds good. Yeah, my email address is there, guys. If you would like this, handout, sure. All right, so let's look at buyers. Same scenario. We needed 63 buyers, and I allocated it evenly, okay, amongst online marketing, open houses, and then everything else. Work the numbers across with the ratios, and here's the weekly number of contacts for each of these activities. Doesn't seem like a lot, I mean, but obviously it's work, right? So what do you do once you have these numbers? But these numbers are gold. This is the hardest work, by the way. We talk about activities in real estate. I will tell you right now, the planning process is the hardest work you'll ever do. And that's why a lot of people don't do it. People that, just wing it, are just taking the easy way out. They think they are. They're just going to go with the flow in business. And when they do that, they're avoiding planning out because it's tough work. Using your head and doing this work is the toughest thing. But when you do it, then it's a no-brainer. I'm trying to mute everyone because I hear somebody's open, but hopefully you guys will mute yourself. But so the gold, guys, is in these numbers over here, because once you have this, then you can easily go back to that daily planner we talked about. And I would lay that out. Remember that daily planner every day, is one day of activities. So what I would do if this were my schedule, if I were going to step into the shoes of this agent that wanted to make $150,000, I would go ahead and lay out 7 days of schedules, Monday through Sunday, and now allocate what the activities that need to be done through the course of the week. For instance, I would look at this and I would see, okay, canvassing by phone. I need to make 44 calls a week. Well, I'll go to my calendar and I can say, okay, every Friday, I will go ahead and sit down in between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock and make 44 calls. Boom. That activity is done. I can move on to the next. Or I can say, well, you know what? Wait a minute. 44 calls in one day is way too many calls for me to make. I'm going to spread that out. I know I need to make 44 calls, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 10 and 11, I'm going to make, 11 calls or whatever the number works out to, right? 12, 13 calls. And it's still the same 44, but I just allocated it differently. See? Then I move on to the next one. Okay, canvassing in person. I got to knock on 22 doors a week. Well, okay, well, once a month, I'll go ahead and knock on 100 doors in my farm area. Boom, done. See what I'm saying? I'm just going through the list, putting down what I know I need to do, and then doing it. That's it. That's the ticket, guys. That's the key to your successful real estate career. Having the plan, knowing what to do, and executing on it. Now you may say, well, what if I do this and I don't get the results? Well, great. Well, I'm going to say this to you. Don't beat yourself up on results right off the bat. Results will happen. Results are going to happen when you start sharing your information. See, the one thing you have with the company is a lot of support. You have a lot of people rooting for you. Not only are we going to provide you with these tools, we're going to help you with them. So your success is important to us. But here's the thing again with that. We're going to give you the tools. If you don't use the tools, they mean nothing. If you don't use the support, it means nothing either. If you don't reach out to your manager, if you don't reach out to me, don't think that we're untouchable. I mean, that's what we're all here for. We're here to help you. So let us know, because there's a metrics with all this stuff and we can coach you. We've heard it all. Okay. We've heard it all. There's a formula for all of this stuff. It might be, once a week you come in and you say, well, these were my goals. I didn't reach this. Well, first thing we'll look at, okay, what did you plan as far as prospecting activities? Did you do all the activities? Okay, maybe you did. All right. You didn't have the results. Maybe, you called 10 for sale by owners. You only had one appointment. You needed to get 2 to reach your goal. Okay. Well, maybe increase the amount of calls or maybe tweak your script, right? So you have a better ratio. We can help you with that. Or maybe you're getting the appointment, but you're not getting the listing. or maybe you're getting the listing, but it's not getting sold. I mean, everything along the way of this metric, there's ways that we can help you. Okay. So you just have to communicate with us and we'll help you. Believe me. I mean, this, by doing the hard work and figuring out what your goal is and then just executing it, we can help you the rest of the way. We can't do it for you, but we can tell you what you may need to do to tweak certain things to make it happen for you. Okay. All right. Well, look, we are at 3 o'clock right now, but I am going to open this up for chat. If you would like to, if you would write something in the chat box or you would like a question answered, I'd be happy to do that for you. If you feel that I have covered everything diligently and you just want me to shut this thing down, I can do that too. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, hopefully I have at least opened your eyes to a business plan. I hear someone opening their mic. Maybe there's a question coming in. Yes. Hello. No. Okay. All right. Here's a question coming in. Hold on, everyone. Hold the horses. All right. I'm new, so I haven't fully set up company email and everything. Okay. Can I get the sheets to my other email? Absolutely. Yes. So what I would recommend you do, since I do not save this chat box when I close this out, please email me at the above email address. That's lcariote@century21.com, and I will reply to you with the handouts. Okay. All right. Yeah. Don't use the chat box to request the sheets. It won't work. Unfortunately, I don't save those. All right. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I want to just take the opportunity and say, welcome everyone. I mean, you know, look, you're in this business at a fantastic time. We have a phenomenal opportunity. It's always a good time. There wouldn't be a time that I would say either, but I do, you know, it really is. I mean, these are unprecedented times, but take advantage. Take advantage. You're in the right spot, guys. We got so many great things going on company-wide, so many great tools and systems. We have some incredible, well, all of our management support staff is phenomenal. Take advantage of them. Ask questions and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting you personally. You know, if you're new, you know, and you've come on during this pandemic era, I can tell you this is very different from what it usually is. We have a lot of social events and things like that. I mean, we're still social on Zoom, but it's different to be able to get together. I'm very involved. You know, and Monica and the whole company, you know, we all look forward to meeting each one of you and working with you. Okay. But feel free to reach out in the interim. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next training. Okay. And the next meeting as well. All right, everyone have a great rest of the day. Thank you again for joining and see you real soon. All right.
Thank you. Bye.